Sweet soul, I thank you for your light and I feel its warmth. It truly is a pleasure to be able to connect with you, especially as we get closer to Christmas. And you know, Christmas, it's all about family, it's all about friends. But as I would always say, Christmas every day. And that means we have everyday situations. Every day you're dealing with those who love you, those who like you, those who hate you, those who are indifferent. We all have enemies, whether you want to face that or not. But I want you to remember the words of Winston Churchill, in which he says, you have enemies? Good. That means that sometime in your life you stood for something. So stand for something. And that is why it's so important to collect your thoughts at the start of every day, knowing who you are and whose you are, knowing what you will put up with, what you won't put up with, and understanding that you stay within your authentic self, regardless of who may have a problem or an issue with that. But enemies, hey, they may perceive you as an enemy, but don't you perceive anyone as your enemy. Because as my husband would always say, he says, in life, no one is your friend. No one is your enemy, but everyone is your teacher. As I recall too the words of Benjamin Franklin, in which he says, love your enemies, for they tell you your faults. And that is something we need to appreciate, so long as we are not an enemy to ourselves, by holding ourselves back from learning, from growing. And I want you to put this in the comment section. I refuse to be my own enemy. I refuse to be my own enemy. I refuse to be my own enemy. You're an enemy to yourself if you do not allow yourself to learn and to grow. So from all situations and in all things, take the lesson from it. Appreciate it for the jewel and the gem that it is for you to move ahead. Always better. You're always growing. You're always glowing. And that is something to appreciate. That is something to really take hold of and understand. It only gets better. It only works in your favor. And anytime someone is thinking that they're doing you something, no, incorrect. Because what we do to others, we do unto ourselves. And if you know what you stood by is your truth, if you know what you stood by is doing the right thing at the right moment, if you did what was right at the time it was presented to you with what you knew and the tools you had, give yourself a pat on the back. Not everyone is going to like you for that. Some will even hate you for that. But that is okay, so long as you refuse to be an enemy to yourself. Pull the lesson out of everything and choose to do right, whether people like you or don't like you for it. Choose to do the right thing and refuse to be your own enemy. You know when you're doing the right thing, when you're able to sleep well at night, when you still have your joy, when you have your peace of mind, and when you are able to feel comfortable with the person in the mirror that is staring back at you. Do right. Do it with love, do it with light, and ensure that you're moving forward ever, backward never. You're gonna step on some toes, and you're probably even gonna mash some foot too, and that is quite okay, so long as you refuse to be your own enemy. You're an enemy to yourself if you keep holding back on the things you really want because you're scared of who you might offend. You're your own enemy if you stay quiet and you accept certain things because you are scared of who you might offend. So long as you know you're not offending your Creator and you're not offending God within you, so long as you are refusing to be your own enemy and you're acting with love and light. With that, I thank you for your light and its warmth. Soulfully yours, I'm Michelle Borrell.